Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome to the Aries Moon Girl channel. Today's topic is going to be about New Year's resolutions, and I thought of a more creative way of doing New Year's resolutions. And in this case, I'm going to give you 12 resolutions that are inspired by the 12 signs. I am a Pisces, and from what people will tell you, it's very common that the last sign has some of the traits of all the other previous 11 signs. So I tend to think like this when I think about things that I want to activate in my personality. So I was thinking of giving you guys the same the same type of tip, because I know there's a lot going on about New Year's resolutions and how they don't work, and I think they basically don't work because they are empty meaning things that we want to do. We want to look good and lose 5 kilos, or we want to start writing or reading more, but the reason behind it is missing. And that's why I think that for a New Year's resolution to work, we need to have actually a reason behind it and the motivation, and to understand what we want to change at a core level, at a behavioral level, and to understand what we want to change in our mentality. Because actually the changes that happened always come from here, from the head, are not so easily triggered only by doing something mechanically, but by also understanding in your head the benefit that resolution will bring. Okay, so getting into this, I inspired my 12 resolutions by things that we can learn from each individual sign. And I'm going to take the signs in order, and I'm going to tell you exactly that one great quality that I think of when I think of a sign, and that one great quality that I think we all could take on for this 2017 New Year's resolution. Okay, so for the first resolution that you can take, you can learn to be courageous as an Aries is. When we are babies, when we are small, we're not afraid of things. We're touching fire, we're walking there, we're not afraid of going to people and touching them, or making the first move towards someone. And I think throughout our life, we learn fear. We learn, okay, fire burns me, so I won't be touching this. Or I won't be walking on ice, or all these things that protect us throughout our life, but that pile up and make us actually very scared, insecure people. Aries has that one quality that we wish we all still had, and that's to be courageous and to not be afraid of the consequences. Aries is the baby of the Zodiac, so Aries didn't accumulate all this fear, all this anxious behavior when dealing with others. So that's why Aries goes for what they want, and they usually get it, because the only thing that usually stops you from getting what you want is the courage to do it, or the attitude to feel like you will get that and you deserve to get that. So definitely one thing, and the first resolution that I take for myself and for all the others out there, I would say, be courageous like an Aries. The second New Year's resolution that you can take on is inspired by the second sign of the Zodiac, and that is Taurus. And this resolution has to do with valuing the things in your life. Taurus is the sign of value, and this doesn't mean that they overvalue themselves or that they are snobbish. This means actually that they can appreciate beauty, they can appreciate things like food, nature, everything that they have around them, and this makes them more balanced, more healthy, sane individuals. And this is something that I always valued about Tauruses. And I think this is one of the problems that people have nowadays. We get depressed because we cannot appreciate what we have in our lives anymore. We cannot appreciate the simple things. We cannot appreciate the material wealth and goodness that we have around us. We cannot appreciate that we have clothes that are taking care of our bodies. We cannot appreciate that we have delicious food. We cannot appreciate the beauty that's outside in nature, and the joy that this nature can give to us. And these are all Taurus traits. Tauruses have this communion with nature, and have such a healthy way of looking at life through really seeing value in the simple, beautiful things of life. And this is the resolution that I would encourage all of you to take on for 2017. Okay, number 3 is the resolution that has to do with the Gemini sign, and that's a resolution that will of course have to do with communication. And I think in this world where we are all so much dragged into our cell phones, work emails, so much closed into our box, and we're thinking we're communicating, that's not real communication. So I would encourage all of you to go back to communicating more effectively, and at the same time more entertaining and fun for the others with the persons around you. Communication doesn't have only the purpose of achieving achieving a goal or getting what you want. Communication has the purpose also of bringing people together and bonding. And what a Gemini does perfectly is actually combining communication with fun and with intelligent, high-spirited, innovative things that engage the others into that communication. It's never empty words that go by and bore the people around them. No, it's an exchange that engages the minds of the others and makes them engaged through how entertaining and how fun that communication is. So another type of resolution that I would take on for this year is to try to, first of all, communicate more and communicate more effectively with the others, and at the same time try to make it engaging. Try to engage the minds of those around you. Try to make it fun. Try to create that connection with the people around you, and you will see that everything will look and feel a lot better. If there are any misunderstandings around you, it has to do also with your communication style and the fact that you're not using communication to actually bond with people and create that mind connection, which is so important. Okay, number 4. And that is the resolution that has to do with Cancer. And in this case, this resolution will of course have to do with family. And I know everyone has spent now a lot of time with their families and over Christmas, and some of you may be thrilled, some others of you may be, okay, I need a break from my family for some time. But I think one thing that we do is we take the dear persons in our life for granted. We imagine that they will always be there, that your grandparents would always be there, that your parents will always be there, that your children will always be there, and we don't value them as much as we could. This resolution has to do with valuing the dear people in your life. You're spending more time with people at work or with friends that you have accumulated in your life, but you're spending less time with those that really love you dearest and offer you the security, the emotional security that you actually need. So try for this year to spend more time and to value more and to engage more with your close immediate family and those who truly love you unconditionally. Okay, and we're on to the 5th resolution, and that has to do with wonderful Leos. And personally, I think this is a big one, because you keep on hearing this and you never understand what it actually means. And I'm going to tell you in 2017 to try to love yourself. In this sense, I know it sounds many times like empty words, but for me it really helped to be in contact with Leos to understand what loving yourself means. Loving yourself means appreciating yourself and thinking you are worth and you are valuable and you bring joy to the world on the one hand, but this is not empty words. It needs to be backed by something. Make your actions reflect the fact that you love yourself. Dress well. Show dignity in everything that you do. Make yourself proud of yourself. This is one characteristic which I saw in Leos, and it still fascinates me, and I think this is what everyone likes about them actually. Because they always want to be proud of themselves. And they want their actions to reflect this. So they will always try to do something dignified, because this is how they perceive themselves, and this is how they perceive their value. And in order for them to know that they need to love themselves, they need to be proud of yourself. So every time when you're doing something, think of this: will this make me proud of myself? Will this make me dignified?
The sixth resolution that you can take on this year is inspired by the sixth sign of the zodiac, by Virgo. And that resolution is to pay attention to detail. I know many of us go to job interviews and say, oh yeah, my strong point is attention to detail, and my weak point is that I'm too harsh with myself. But how many of us actually do it? Or how many of us really understand that this is a valuable thing? Attention to detail in this sense means making sure that everything that you do is thought through and that you are making the best out of everything that you're doing. If you're giving a gift to someone, attention to detail is also very important, and that's a wonderful Virgo trait. By knowing exactly what that person likes and by paying attention to what would actually make them happy. If you're working on a project, by paying attention to detail, you'll actually manage to get excellence, and you'll actually manage to get high quality, because and me as a Pisces, I know this, I tend to not always do this, but it's the bigger picture is important in coming up with the idea, but the execution is as important in order for the other people to engage with your product. So it's extremely important that you learn to execute things rightly, and for this you need to see everything around you and to see every detail and to see how all the small pieces make the bigger piece, and how you can get excellent through actually paying attention to those. The seventh New Year's resolution has to do with the seventh sign, and that's Libra. And in this case, you guessed it, probably it has to do with relationships. And I think this is again one very, very important resolution that has, where there's so much we can learn about it, and where many of us are failing today because we never learned this. Relationship, in the sense that the Libra gets it, has to do with give and take, has to do with balance, has to do with both people coming out of that relationship happy. It's a win-win situation. And most relationships nowadays are either very selfish or based on yourself, or are very much codependent, where you're just giving and you're dependent on that person, and you keep on giving because you think otherwise they won't stay with you. And that's the world of love relationship, but this exists also in a friendship relationship. It exists in a relationship with a relative, and it's everything that's wrong with us in this world. And one thing that we can learn from Libra is to give and take, and to value balance in a relationship, to value the fact that we relate to another person and we receive something, and this gives us the opportunity to give something back. It's learning how to be equal, is learning how to be right, and how to be humanly successful, because that's the only way in how we feel most fulfilled and the people in our life feel most fulfilled, when we balance things out and when we make equal relationships in our life. So that's definitely one very valuable lesson that we can learn from Libra. The eighth resolution for this year is again a very powerful one that comes from Scorpio, and that has to do with looking deep, deep, deep within yourself. We tend to live these superficial lives where we only talk about mundane problems. We keep on recreating our own drama. We never get to the core of what's deeply inside us, what that deep fear that's stopping us from being successful or from being happy. And the Scorpio lesson for me, it's a courage lesson. It has to do with daring not to be superficial, daring to look within yourself deeply, daring to face your demons, face your fear in the eye, and knowing that you will conquer this, knowing that you are a lot more stronger than you thought you would. Looking at that part where you never want to look into, and knowing that you can do this, that you'll conquer this, that fear, although it's there, won't stop you, and that you are invincible. I know I'm exaggerating a bit this, but I think that's a superpower that the Scorpio has, and that we can all a bit learn from it, at least if we cannot totally master it. But that's definitely one of the hardest goals for 2017, but I'm sure we can try to do it. The ninth resolution for 2017 is inspired by lovely, cheerful, fabulous Sagittarius. And this has to do with learn how to keep your optimism alive. Learn to see the best in life. Learn to live with the faith that it all happens to you for a reason. Learn to be happy that you get to live another day and experience another wonderful thing in this world. Learn to have faith in humanity. Learn to praise everything that humanity has created for us, and keep the optimism in this world. Keep the optimism that people are good, that everything in your life has a meaning, that your faith in something above is justified, and that you get to live this life for a reason, and you should value it, and you should be so happy that you get to live another day. Okay, so number 10, that has to do, this New Year's resolution has to do with Capricorns and what we can learn from Capricorns. I just made a video about Capricorns before New Year's. Please have a look at it, check it out. I think that will explain a lot about all the wonderful Capricorn qualities. But if there's one quality that I would limit myself to in this video, and I would take as a New Year's resolution for 2017, that has to do with putting in the effort to get the best results out of your life, to get the highest quality life that you can. this is a Capricorn trait that many people somehow describe in a way that I don't like. They somehow put hard work. They assume that hard work for Capricorns is just a natural, and it doesn't have an end goal. It's just they are hard workers and they are a bit arrogant, and they are cold people, which is so wrong. And this is what I was telling in my other video as well. That one quality of Capricorn is knowing that in order to get the best out of your life, you need to work hard. And working hard is something that many people try to avoid these days, because they think, oh, it will work with just a bit of work there, here and there, and my life would be as good as any other life. But what Capricorn does, they don't leave anything up to chance. They get the highest quality material possessions, but also they are striving for the highest quality of family, of relationships, of partner. They work this hard because they know we all have it in our hands to change our destiny. It's just putting in enough effort. And that's one thing that I think we should all follow in 2017, because we've seen how hard 2016 has been, and especially at the end of the year. But I think this has to do with all this Saturn influence on us. First of all, Saturn being in Sagittarius and making all these aspects to the other mutable signs, but also with all this influence on the Capricorn sign, we have been going through tough times also because we didn't build ourselves up. We weren't hard enough. We didn't work hard enough to survive these hard times. And this is what Capricorn does. They secure that they will live through the hardest times and that they will achieve the highest goal. So hard work and effort is what makes you, on the one hand, stronger, and it makes you get the results that you want. So, and now we're on to Aquarius. And the lesson, the 11th lesson that we can take on to this new year and set as 2017 resolution, has to do with learning to be yourself. Learn to be unique. Learn to speak your truth. Learn to think out of the box. Learn to go out of the patterns that society has built on us. We reproduce only what we have heard from others. We live only in those rules that were imposed by others on us. And we think only in the boxes where we're allowed to think. If you were to take the Aquarius lesson, this means to break free out of that box. Think for yourself, to create your own rules, to know what is good for you, what is good for the people around you, what is good for humanity. To think for yourself, to dare to speak your mind, dare to be weird, dare to be quirky, but dare to be unique. And that's such a valuable Aquarius lesson, and that's why I value Aquarius people so much. It's because people call this sometimes craziness, and you can call it craziness. For me, it's just freedom of thought, and knowing that you have your mind for your own, and that ideas can be created with your own mind, and that you thinking for yourself is being true to yourself. And I think also the society would benefit from this if we all started bringing new things to the table and bringing our brains with us and bringing our unique selves to the world. So please take this as a resolution for 2017 and all the years to come from now on. Okay, and now I'm on to my last sign, which is Pisces, which is myself as well. And a resolution that I would give everyone from the Pisces mentality has to do with loving everyone.
And I know this is empty words and people usually make fun of it and make fun of Pisces for being like that, but it has to do with compassion and putting yourself in other people's shoes. Pisces are some of the most compassionate people out there and the least judging. It doesn't have to do with they are probably not the ones that are the most active in charity. Maybe a Scorpio is, maybe a Taurus is, but Pisces try not to create wrong in the world through the fact that they put themselves in the other people's shoes, that they can understand while everyone does what they do, or that they, even if they don't agree with something for themselves, that they can accept the person. And this acceptance is, together with the relationship part that I said in Libra, this is what's causing all the anxiety and depression in our society. And this is why we are unhappy, and this is why we're fearful, because we're afraid of not being accepted. And if we all started accepting the ones around us, this will help us accept ourselves as well. And through being compassionate, you will learn to love the others for who they are, but you will learn to also love yourself. And this is a valuable lesson that Pisces gives you for 2017. Okay, so this concludes the 12 resolution that I personally will take on for myself for 2017. I hope you do the same. I'm sure that starting to think like this and starting to improve the way you think about life and your mentality will also bring positive change in all the things that you're doing in your everyday life. Resolutions are not there to be broken, but are there to bring an improvement. So take step by step, take whatever lesson you can from this video, and let me know if you found anything valuable in what I said, and if you're one of the signs and you want to give some more tips for everyone else to take on for 2017, please write it down in the comments. Please also subscribe to my channel for more content in this wonderful 2017. I'm so excited about all the videos that I have planned for this year. I'm writing a long list with videos. Please, if you have any suggestions of videos that you would like to see, write it down below, and I'll try to make the videos that you guys are actually interested in and to answer your questions and reflect your interest. Thank you so much and have a wonderful, wonderful 2017. This year is going to be a lot better than the last one. Bye bye.